Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover. I mean, it sold millions and millions of copies. So what's the secret sauce, right? What's the core philosophy that makes it click for so many people? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today, the mindset behind the money. Okay, but before we dive in, let's start with a really important question. Is your financial plan actually built to last? To withstand a storm? Because here's the thing. The core idea we're going to explore is that personal finance isn't just about doing well when everything's sunny and great. It's really about building a foundation that's strong enough to weather the inevitable storms life throws at all of us. So to really get to the heart of this philosophy, we first have to do a little myth busting. We've got to understand what it isn't. And, a huge part of its strength actually comes from rejecting some very common and very popular financial wisdom. All right, first up, it completely tackles our culture's obsession with complexity. The book basically argues that in finance, the most powerful truths are often the simplest ones. It points out that thousands of millionaires keep their financial philosophies, and I quote, very uncomplicated. So the goal isn't to sound smart or sophisticated, it's to actually be effective. Okay, so the next myth is this idea that it's some kind of new secret formula. And it's just not. The author is super clear that these are time-honored truths. He even says, we give the same financial advice your grandmother would, only we keep our teeth in. So the real point here isn't about some new trick. It's about applying that old common sense wisdom. So if it's not complicated and it's not new, then what is it? Well, the book defines itself as a how-to-do-it plan. Think of it less like a textbook full of facts and more of an actionable step-by-step process. It's designed to inspire you to actually do the things you probably already know you should be doing. And this right here, this brings us to the absolute core idea of the entire plan. It argues that if you're struggling with money, the problem isn't your calculator, it's not your spreadsheet. Nope, the problem is something much, much more fundamental. And here it is. This is that fundamental problem broken down. See, the book is built on this one single principle. Personal finance is 80% behavior and only 20% head knowledge. That's huge. Knowing what to do, the math, that's the easy part. The real challenge, that giant 80% chunk, is getting yourself to actually do it. It's all about overcoming our own tendencies, right? Like emotional spending or trying to keep up with the Joneses. This quote from the author just drives that point home so perfectly. I am sure that the problem with my money is the guy in my mirror. Wow. I mean, it's a personal admission that the biggest obstacle to your financial success probably isn't the economy or interest rates, it's your own habits, your decisions, your behaviors. It's really about taking that personal responsibility. So, what gives the author the right to make such a bold claim? Well, it's not a wall of fancy academic degrees. He says his real qualification comes from lived experience, from having, as he puts it, done stupid with zeros on the end. His credibility is born from failure and recovery, not just from theory in a book. But look, all this focus on behavior and mindset, it isn't just a bunch of talk. It's all connected to a very concrete and actionable roadmap. The entire book is structured as this really clear step-by-step plan. And here's a little taste of those first steps. You can see they're designed to create momentum. You start with a small, achievable win, like saving $1,000 fast. And then you move on to tackling debt with a method called the debt snowball. It's all about building on that behavioral change, one win at a time. But why? Why go through all this trouble? Well, the book uses this really powerful metaphor to explain the why. And it all comes back to that story we all know. The three little pigs, and the importance of building a house that can withstand the big, bad wolf. And that wolf, it's not a fairy tale, is it? We've all lived through it. I mean, think about it. The dot-com crash, the fallout from 9/11, the Great Recession, the COVID-19 pandemic. The book's point is that these storms aren't just possibilities, they are inevitabilities. The only question isn't if one will come, but when the next one's going to hit. So the entire purpose of the Total Money Makeover is to be your financial house of bricks. It's a system designed to be stress-tested, to work in bad times just as well as it does in good times, so that when those economic winds really start to blow, your foundation holds strong. Okay, so with this whole philosophy in mind, you might be asking, is it actually worth it? Well, let's look at the final verdict, right? The one from the people who've actually gone through the entire process. The author makes this really powerful and kind of funny point about the end result.
He says that despite all the hard work, all the sacrifice, and the difficult changes it takes, he has never had someone write to me saying, I got on a budget, got out of debt, and I hate it. I mean, the takeaway is pretty clear. The outcome, that financial piece, is just overwhelmingly positive.
And that brings us right to the final question, which really turns this whole explainer back to you. After looking at this philosophy, this idea of preparation and behavioral change, you kind of have to ask yourself, what is my own financial house made of? Is it straw, twigs, or is it brick?